Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Eve Edwards to defeat Mark Hominick. And I'm here to talk about Melk Costa versus Austin Lingo. Melk Costa is 26 years old, 19-6 as a pro, and he's got 3 inches of reach over 9-2 Austin Lingo, who is 29 years old and the same height as Melk Costa. Melk Costa, he's got 13 finishes in his 19 wins. His wins are pretty much spread evenly. 7 TKOs, 6 submissions, and 6 decisions. He can get it done any which way, which is, an awesome trait to have as a fighter. Of course, the losses kind of work the same way. He's got 1 TKO loss, 2 submissions, and 3 decisions. But, you got to show a little forgiveness with that debut against Thiago Moises. That is an incredibly rough debut. I think he took it on short notice as well. It would certainly seem so based on the matchmaking. And yeah, that's a really tough guy to make your debut against. And he still didn't look bad. It's just that Thiago Moises overwhelmed him in the end. Bigger, stronger, and better fighter at this point. But Melk, he's still a young guy, 26, with a lot of experience here, 25 fights. And he looks to be a really well-versed fighter. Again, his winning record proves that, with his wins spread evenly. But here I expect him to be a more versatile fighter than Austin Lingo, even though Austin Lingo's wins are damn near spread evenly as well. Nine wins, he's got 3 TKOs, 2 submissions, and 4 decisions. But despite all that, I think at the UFC level, he's going to be more of a brawler. Maybe some TKOs, and definitely grinding his way to decisions. And that's just what I expect from him. But he's still 29 years old. Not spring chicken, but it's not like he's old or done developing as a fighter yet. And he's already gotten some solid wins in the UFC. We saw him beat Luis Saldana, and that was after he lost round 1, came back and won the next 2 rounds. And he beat Jacob Kilborn. He also knocked out that guy Solo Hatley, the Bellator guy there. Austin Lingo, he's a better fighter than most fighters with 11 fights, Austin Lingo. But he's run into some tough fights in the UFC, and he's looked a little vulnerable. Certainly in that last one, the Nate Landwehr. Nate got him out of there with a rear naked choke, and that was Nate's 2nd submission in his entire career. But still, Austin Lingo fell to a choke because he was clipped in that fight. Nate clipped his chin. And even though he's never been knocked out as a pro, Austin Lingo, he was TKO'd or knocked out as an amateur. It was 18 seconds, and you could argue it's a bad stoppage, but it's still another strike against his chin in the few fights he's had. But still, Austin Lingo, when he's not getting clipped, he's looked really tough, really game. Yusuf Salal beat him by decision, but still he looked game there. He's a guy that I think can threaten a lot of guys on the feet and force them to use their wrestling or grappling, which I'd say is his primary weakness. But he's still got 2 submission victories himself, so there is that. But here in this fight here, I think it's going to be another close fight, and I expect Austin Lingo to be outpointed. I think Melk Costa is going to mix things up. On the feet, I expect him to be competitive. I think Austin Lingo's a really tough gunslinger. Like I said, a brawler at the UFC level. So, with that aggression and overall power, I think Austin Lingo does have a little bit of physicality on him, certainly. But on the outside, Melk Costa, I expect to be a little more diverse in his striking. And overall, MMA-wise, I think he mixes everything up altogether, the grappling and the striking, and altogether scores more points. That's my prediction for the fight, and it's close enough where I haven't bet on it. I'm really staying away from this one. Melk Costa is at minus 210. I'd rather bet on Austin Lingo, to be honest, but I'm not as inclined to do so as I am with some other underdogs that I think they get the odds wrong with. This will just be a fun fight. If there's any prop that strikes me, maybe I'll play a prop or something, but really I'm staying away from this one. The pick, though, I think Melk Costa wins a decision. I think Austin Lingo is going to hang tough in there. I do have doubts about his chin, but I don't think it's going to surface here. And I also have a little bit of doubts about his submission durability, so to speak, submission defense. But I don't think that's going to hit the surface here either. I think this one's a points battle either way. Maybe there's some value on fight goes the distance. But no, I'm just staying away from this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit. Check out my other videos.